Merry meet and welcome to Lux Dragon Queen Magic. I'm Taylor, and today is our Tuesdays with Tarot, and we're looking into what initiation are you going through or going to be facing with the upcoming Imbolc celebration. So with that, go ahead and pause, and I will see you at the timestamps below. See you soon. All right, pile one, thank you for being here, and let's go ahead and get started with what initiation are you going through. Okay, so to start us off, we do have Judgment, and I actually know this story. This is the Monkey King, Sungwon, the Monkey King, and so this is a very interesting and intricate story. So if you would like to explore this and read it further, I definitely would encourage you. Ultimately, though, these stories that you find will pick and choose certain elements to tell you about, so maybe just really recognize what part of the story you do come across and see how that relates to you. With that being said, this is ultimately the Judgment card. So what initiation are you going through? The initiation. No, I'm just kidding. But you are ascending. This is Spirit coming through saying that you are, if not already have learned more about your abilities and what you were always meant to learn, and that initiation is stepping forward, or that is making you step forward into your true initiation to actually step onto this next level and to actually go further into your awakening and essentially complete this cycle. So this is Spirit coming and saying, like, you are at the edge of completing your cycle. This is almost like, it's like you've been on this journey this whole time, and now this is the test, the final battle, the final project, not necessarily project, like objective before completing this certain level. So something to remember is that you're always on a journey. So even though you're at the end of this isn't just the ending. After the ending, there's always a new beginning. So I'm just bringing that up because Spirit always wants us to encourage ourselves to enjoy the journey and not just focus on the accomplishment. And sometimes we fear the ending when we don't know what comes after. So that's another reason why I want to make sure to say that. But Spirit really is coming through stating that this is your challenge time. Okay, and so we also have for you the Page of Cups. All right. So for this one, I don't have the story off the top of my head. I apologize. I should have said this earlier. Next to your timestamps, they will have the stories that you can look further into and see really how they relate to you. But for the most part, we're also taking them just as the tarot that they are. So we have the Page of Cups coming to you with the Judgment card. So I'm really seeing that you more so, it's interesting. I would say you've probably, your journey itself deals with the cups itself. And so some of you are the Page of Cups, and you are learning how to be a current of communication. And so you're learning how to flow from emotion to emotion and not reside in just one. In addition to this, for some of you, there is an external force that is a messenger who is coming forward and essentially helping you on this journey. So if you are on this journey alone, that this is the internal representation of you. If you are on a journey or this project involves multiple people, then this is a representation of someone who is very important for your ascension and who is going to support the further clarity of you moving forward. So the page is going, especially with cups, is going to help you move forward. And whether this be through yourself and understanding your own emotions, you are jumping into a current, or someone else is facilitating that current for you so that you can move forward into your ascension. Okay, so definitely very interesting, very emotional. So what is our divine energy invitation? Express your joy. Okay. It sounds so simple, but joy is such an interesting term. It is our highest happiness that connects with Spirit. And like sometimes you might find like something that came to mind is like you might be working out and find yourself at this like at that high peak moment when the endorphins are just like coursing through you, and just you essentially feel pure and light. And that is a way that joy can seem and look. And so that's just an example. You might have a lot of joy finger painting and like just letting loose, or maybe just like drip painting I'm seeing painting, so a different kind of painting than normal because maybe you feel restricted with a paintbrush is what I'm seeing. So maybe take away the paintbrush. How would you express your joy then? Yes. With this is going to be so important for you in your ascension. So this is why we're seeing the Page of Cups come forward in like a very happy mentality, because you're needing to step into your emotions, into this current of joy in order to really accept your abilities and not master them. I'm hearing like that's going to be an always thing, but I'm hearing like to become your abilities, like you into the next phase, almost like there's a crown waiting, or like a mask, not necessarily a mask, but like a roll, a cap that's waiting for you to try it on and fit it to yourself. It's not something that you'll always do, but it's just like this is another version that you have unlocked. Yes. With that, let's go ahead and take a look. The rest of these messages are all just came out based off what your spirit guides want you to know and feel. And so for our first card, we have forgiveness. I forgive myself. I am forgiven. So this definitely is going to be a theme within our emotions too. So sometimes we also have to forgive ourselves for feeling, which that may sound odd, but like a lot of times, even if you're really connected to your emotions, you probably like those darker emotions like anger, depression, you probably get upset with yourself when you have those emotions. And this is spirit like saying like those are things that you need to forgive yourself. Those are natural. Those are just natural feelings and emotions that you have. The true lesson that you're learning and working with is the fact that you're moving through them. You're not staying in one place. And so you have to forgive yourself for what you've been through, what you've gone through, and just recognize. And like essentially I'm hearing like no longer let shame affect you and your decisions, because a lot of things that you still hold against yourself are in the past and no longer affect you or are part of your story. Like it's like back to that like crown or role that you've been carrying. So I'm hearing like maybe there's certain labels, negative labels that you've put onto yourself that go against what it means to be an emotional person, to express your joy. And spirit is coming in saying like it is time to remove those from you and to really spend time during this initiation. You are going to feel enlightened. Yeah, through finding your joy, you're going to find a forgiveness in your heart as well, because in order to find that joy, you have to forgive yourself. So it's a duality to it. I just saw like the figure 8 symbol, how like one goes into the other. Oh, sorry, cat being loud. And yes, so with that, you're finding a balance between forgiveness and joy. Okay, so one does, yeah. I was just gonna say, you need both in order to have the other. You need one in order to have the other. There we go. That's the saying. Okay, and then we do have another love message for you, luminosity. I don't know, maybe that's pronounced differently, but this is telling me right away, and honestly I'm seeing like certain correlations. So like all of these cards are different, right? But like we have around them, they do have a circle. And then most importantly, around the judgment card, we see very similar sun rays. And then all these cards are also different, even though they're words, and we see something similar to sun rays coming out. And then being surrounded by loving light from the angels. So I just apparently really needed to show you all of those patterns coming out and luminosity, because that is in you. You are this person. You are shining brightly through, and spirit is saying it is not time for you to dim that light, merely to accept it. So you know what? Maybe you are shining as bright as a raging sun, and that's okay. You don't have to stay raging, and with this, as you start to accept this light within yourself and grow it, you're going to start attracting like people who recognize that within you and who are kinder to you. So like this Page of Cups will naturally want to gravitate towards you and support you in becoming this current, because I'm seeing like anyone who's really connected to the element of cups and heart and like their emotions are going to be just like drawn to you. It's a very interesting duality, because it's like how the earth needs water and sunlight. Like that's almost how you are. Like you and like you're the sunlight and then water is coming forward to you in order to nurture earth. And earth, that may be a project, it may just be a part of you, it may be your family, it may be the abundance around you, it may just be the literal world around you, and you're working to heal things on a much greater level. And this is spirit coming through, saying that this is a part of your initiation, what you were supposed to learn, these people you were supposed to connect with, in order to bring together this ultimate healing. Okay, so nice. All right, so for this next one, we do have our Pegasus Oracle, and then we're actually going to reference the book for the poetry that is associated with each Pegasus. And so we have two for you. First one we have is a Fountain of Pegasus. Wow, okay, so interesting. So for this Fountain of Pegasus, so again, we're seeing like light streaming down, right? Light coming down. And I am just seeing that you are this, as you express your joy, your light will grow and therefore just become more naturally giving. And with that, you will become, your forgiveness will extend beyond just yourself. Okay, I'm sorry. And so with that, the Fountain of Pegasus brings that in, because the Fountain of Pegasus is really, it's dual natured. It's going to the base of source in order to heal and bring healing to others. And being a fountain and having this fountain essentially burst forth within us. And Spirit is saying that this is a part of your role. That you are able to go to the source. And, I'm seeing like there's light and water again. So connected with earth, light and water again coming forward in order to achieve this healing balance. So let's go ahead and grab the poetry for this. Okay. Beloved Pegasus of the pure fountain, you bring the higher will of spirit to life, overcoming the negative effects of karmic seeds, transforming them into luminous grace for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I open myself completely to the light of wisdom that sets the soul free. Okay, what did we say? Like, this card just really is you. It is just more confirmation coming through, saying that your light is so important in order to be this, and it just shines from within you. You don't have to do anything. Express your joy. You don't have to do anything else. And don't feel bad about being happy. That's something else coming through. Don't feel bad about being happy. And if anyone is making you feel bad about that, set up firmer boundaries with that person and continue your happy life. And I guarantee you, as you continue to draw on more positivity, and think, oh, I hope they're having a good day, they'll naturally benefit without you needing to be so direct and take on their negativity. Okay, you don't need to darken your light to support others. All right, with that being said, we do have another one here. Okay, we have Storm Rider of the Lightning Moon. Okay, so especially off the heels of what we just talked about, I'm seeing, okay, this is an initiation. Judgment is like, you are so bright and brilliant. Oh, just like lightning. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So there's two sides of you. You're a Fountain of Pegasus and the Storm Rider. Okay. So you are able to move forward and bring great clarity to people. So I'm also hearing you kind of have a choice in the way that you deal with people, and the way that you deal with yourself. And both sides are you, right? You're just as much light as you are dark. That's normal. That's balance. And Spirit is saying, like, you have the choice to be this very like positive fountain of light and go to source and be like, hey, here's this really great way to find grace. And then, or you can be like, you know what? This is the clarity that you need. Boom, bam. Wow. The thing to know about this, though, is that Spirit then will, the energy that you put forth comes through you. So if you are bringing down striking clarity to people, that is happening to you. So just be mindful of how you wield your light, essentially. And if you are just a fountain exuding healing energy, that healing energy is coming through you. Okay? I don't want to cover up luminosity. So with that, let's go ahead and grab your poem. Pegasus, who rides the storms, bestows insights like startling bolts of lightning and provides spiritual protection through all transitions and upheavals. I invoke the unconditional love, enlightened wisdom, and divine grace necessary to overcome all confusion in my life and gain spiritual benefit for myself and all beings. I place my trust in the inner divine presence that ensures my freedom and bestows pure, unfettered grace. Okay, again, something coming up. You are a pure light filled with grace, right? And what did I say? You can give them those startling bolts of insight, because that is who you are. You are light, whether or not it is so focused in the form of lightning, or whether or not it is just so enveloping like the sun, okay, or a star. Either way, Spirit is just pointing out to you that you are this enlightened individual, and that you will continue to be this enlightened individual. So this is your initiation that you're going to be going through, coming up in this level up, this role that you is available to you. And I hope you have fun on your journey. Remember that you are this bright light, and it's so much, like, literally, I am so excited for you to express your joy, and I hope you just have fun doing it. So with that, pile one, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment below. Let us know what your joy is. Share your light with us. And thank you for being here again. Blessed be. All right, pile two, thank you for being here. And let's go ahead and get started to see what your initiation is happening. First off, we have the moon. And then for this, these decks, they are associated with certain fairy tales, so you may have already seen that next to the timestamps below. So I definitely encourage you to look into these fairy tales and see how their stories may relate to you. The elements that you discover may have certain messages for your own initiations. So with the moon coming forward, I'm seeing you're definitely very connected to the divine feminine. I'm seeing that you are also very patient. You've been waiting. And you may even be saying, like, I am not patient. I've been so impatient. Sorry about that. Dropped my cards. So, anyways, we have the moon for you. And like I mentioned, this is the divine feminine coming through. You have been very patient in waiting for something to come to fruition. So, like, we see, like, she's always staring at the moon and waiting for something to come through. So one message that I'm getting about your initiation, not just that is it so involved with the moon in itself, and the fact that you are being blessed by the divine feminine. And yeah, I'm really seeing that you are getting some clarity in regards to your next steps and who you are at your core. So yeah, the moon, ultimately, this is like the most encouragement thing I've seen. Like, it's like the moon is your mother, as you are also the moon, if that makes sense. So it's almost of like you, you're like a personification of the moon. Yes, I haven't said that word in years. Yes, you're a personification of the moon. And with that, there are some trials and tribulations that comes with being the moon. The moon goes through 8 phases, right, on a monthly basis. So sometimes I'm seeing, like, maybe you, with your emotions, like, they can really get away from you. And so this initiation is really understanding on a deeper level you and how you attune to the natural energies around you. Okay. And so with that, our next card that we have for you is going to be the Emperor. So we already recognize you as a divine feminine. This is twofold, okay? For some of you, this is external. What you have been waiting for is your divine masculine to come through and help you understand more of the natural world and what you're working through. I will say Spirit is coming through stating that there is a certain divine masculine within yourself that you do have to take recognition for and take action. So between these two cards, we're seeing the moon, where we're seeing inaction, and then the Emperor, where there's a certain discipline that has to come forward. And almost like when you know you're making the right decision, like, you know what decision needs to be made and you just haven't put through the action on it, is really what I'm seeing come forward here. So this is twofold. This is one, Spirit saying part of this initiation is you taking back control and stepping into a more full balance of inactivity versus activity, and therefore balancing your feminine with your masculine. The other side of this is, yeah, because this is all about your initiation. The other side of this is that your external divine masculine is showing up more in your world. And so with your initiation and being the moon, I'm seeing that Spirit is saying that you have to be discerning. So no matter how much the Emperor like moves, talks, commands, there we go, that's the word I was looking for, demands, commands, no matter how much they do that, you are still the moon. You still move through your phases as time will allow. There's nothing that the Emperor can do that can change the phases of the moon, right? So there's a certain balance, especially I'm hearing if you are in a connection and there's been a strain where you've been feeling misunderstood, there is a certain, the initiation that you're going to be going through is working through understanding yourself and bringing in your partner to understanding that as well, and you therefore understanding them more. So there's this beautiful duality that is coming throughout your initiation, whether it is merely internal or external. I'm honestly getting that it's going to be external as well. Internal almost always will happen, but I am getting that this is a very strong external as well. So very much expecting some partnership, conversation, and not therapy, sorry, improvement. Some partnership improvement as well as self. And so with that, we do have another one for you here. And so we have the 7 of coins. Okay. So yeah, Spirit is coming through saying that this is your time to make a decision, right? Okay. Especially for our external divine masculine. So this is a decision. Okay, something else I just heard is the divine masculine within you is going to resonate with the divine masculine in your external. So if the way that you need structure in your life isn't being shown in that partnership, it's time for you to kind of make a decision, like, is this partnership the one that I'm going to continue investing in, or is it now time to harvest the lessons that I've learned from here and start over in a new? So this is very internal, this initiation. You're reviewing, sorry, I just keep looking at the moon. So you definitely want to work with the divine mother or the empress, in understanding more about who you are in general and like what you want out of a relationship with yourself and with others, because the structure that you need, you're not necessarily seeing it, or it's becoming too restrictive. So there is a conversation that needs to be had, a decision that needs to be made, and you're the only one who can do that. Let me clarify. You're the only one, like, you have to be a part of that decision. You and your partner are the only ones who are able to have this conversation. Not one of you can make it. Interesting. I just heard like maybe your partner is like, I don't see this going anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and say bye. It might be time for you to review and be like, okay, well, why are you thinking that? Like, maybe it is time to say bye. And then who knows, you might see and be like, I think this is actually the direction we're going in, but the structure that you have is like too rigid. And like, they might be like, oh, you're right. And they loosen up and you guys find a way forward and a more understanding path. So this really is coming forward to me that conversation is going to be important, and your emotions and expressing them. So we really do kind of like see a partnership here needing to be understood and delved out, and a recommitment is being asked. Ooh, how many of y'all maybe maybe some of you, there is not necessarily a third party situation, but like it could have been like work got more important, or a hobby got more important, and you or your partner is coming in saying, I'm not going to live this way anymore. I need a recommitment to this relationship. And that is something that you yourself have to decide. So the relationship is not meant to take over you or your partner. It's meant to be a third entity that you both give energy into and both benefit from. So again, this is just coming forward that this is a conversation to have. So let's go ahead and see what your divine invitation is. Be decisive. Okay, so Yeah, Spirit is saying throughout this initiation, I mean, this is happening whether you like it or not, right? Especially if it's with an external partner. But this is Spirit coming in. B is both capitalized, by the way. So it is like, this is, you need to do this. This is happening. And it's asking you to make a decision that is what's best for your soul and your heart. So this is a moment, if you are going to be looking into your emotions and what really is good for you, this is a moment not only to say, this is what is good for me. Again, your own divine masculine coming out saying, and this is the structure and how it does support me. And if your person is your match, they will match your own divine masculine. Like, that's why we have to find it ourselves. Or that's why we have to find balance within ourselves so that we can better understand our partner and how they will react to us and how we react to them. So yeah, this is just really coming through. It's a lot of thinking and holding firm in the decision that you end up making. And don't let someone else make your decision. Like, it is a partnership. Not one person can make the decision. Okay? All right, so we have some, spirit messages. First, starting us off, we have yin and yang. So right off the bat, again, this is definitely an external partnership. Being like, there's internally, maybe you haven't been expressing yourself, or and you've been finding your own balance, and it has left your external feeling imbalance to where, yeah, actually that might be something like, maybe you've been focusing a lot on your own self-development to where you haven't been spending as much time into the relationship. And this is Spirit coming through saying, okay, is this now the time to recommit to this relationship and really have it come forward and bring balance, not just to yourself, but to the relationship with your partner? Or is this time for you to say, my balance is important, and it comes out of balance when I bring in my partner. And so maybe that's not the right energy I want. So this is Spirit really asking you to go in and see, where is this energy coming from, and where is it moving from? So the other thing we're seeing here, right? Your energy goes through them and back into you. So like, are they tearing you down, or are they supporting you? Are you supporting them, or are you tearing them down? It is a cycle between the two of you. Your relationship is not meant to drain energy from you. It is meant to give you back energy. Okay. So like, you can see like vibrations coming off from this, because you can essentially, just like, oh, I want to say solar power, I hope I'm not wrong. Just like in solar power, how we technically, we're actually using the energy that it exudes. We're not even using its full energy. So this is Spirit saying, like, you're not even using the full energy, but the energy it exudes should benefit you to such extremes. Okay, so we do have another love message for you. We have inner peace. You are enough. And then we have a little I am enough down here. Okay. Yeah, I'm really seeing, if your person does not support you, then they are not for you. If you don't feel like you're enough in your relationship, that is something, one, to voice and be like, why do I feel this way? And explore that. I'm not saying you don't blame your partner, right? The way they act may sometimes cause us to feel a certain way, but we are still feeling that way. We cannot control their actions, only how we react. Or we cannot control their actions, only how we react and feel. Sometimes not even how we feel, but just accepting ourselves for who we are and why we're feeling that way is going to be so huge. So this is Spirit coming in very much like, in any decision that you make, you are seeking peace and balance, okay? Like, no one can take that away from you. You have been on this journey and you have been doing it. Do not let a distorted masculine overtake your divine nature. A divine masculine is meant for you, always. That's why we have the Emperor come out, okay? It is a divine masculine. It wasn't the devil. So honestly, there's a good chance that this partnership that you're in is the one, and that they just simply have been needing a recommitment. So keep that in mind. Also, if in a recommitment, it's not like, oh, I wasn't doing enough in this moment. It is, you are enough, and now you can do more. That's great, you know? So just keep that in mind, okay? No negativity, no shaming. All right, so last, we do have a Pegasus card. We're also going to read the Oracle from it as well. Okay, and I apologize if I mispronounce this. We have Pegasus of Spica or Spica. I don't know. Wow. Okay. So you are most likely a starseed. Look, we have this one is looking off to the star, but the reason why is because you are a starseed living a human life. You're a divine being living a human life, right? You're a divine feminine, of course. And this is a spirit coming and saying that you may not feel sure, you may be feeling disconnected, but you, in the 5D realm, you have so much connection, so much support for who you are and who you are becoming, that whenever you are feeling unsure of yourself, you can pause, calm down, and look to the sky for strength, and look outside of yourself for strength. Something too coming through for this is because I'm really feeling like maybe and I'm sorry if this is trigger, maybe been in abusive relationships a lot, and this one isn't necessarily that, but there's sometimes where like you worry, and maybe you worry like because it's who you are, and to be that victim, and this is spirit like coming through like, no, you're more powerful than that. Just remember, like, you come from something stronger and from something more divine, that this like human negativity will never fully strip away who you are and what you're worth. Okay, so be decisive in how you gain your peace and your balance, and in whether or not this is the relationship for you to harvest and move forward with, or maybe it's the relationship with yourself that you need to invest more time into, because that is more important. Okay, let's go ahead and get your pull. All right. Beloved Pegasus, guardian and friend of my higher self, I call upon the enlightened wisdom that helps me surrender my need to know and instead to trust the guiding grace of my higher self. May I clearly recognize my true nature and be supported in all ways to manifest my sacred purpose for the spiritual benefit of all beings. So yes, this really is coming in hard, that like no matter how alone you feel, you have support not only in your 5D, not only from your higher self, but also in so if I'm hearing for those who need it, if your decision is to move away from a distorted masculine, that spirit is coming and saying you still are not alone and you will never be alone again. And if that is also your decision, your divine masculine is in the 5D. So when you connect to that higher self, that higher being, or that higher source, you will in fact find all the love and support that you're wishing for, even if you don't see it in the 3D. You're just on a journey and you are finding your peace and balance. So yes, a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work in this initiation, but it's you deciding what's best for you. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Pile 2, I hope this resonated with you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely comment below anything you're going through, gain support from the community. And with that, blessed be. All right, pile 3, thank you for being here, and let's go ahead and get started with what initiation are you going through. So right off the bat, we have the Queen of Swords. So right away, this is, well, first let me go ahead and comment. Each of these tarot cards will have a fairy tale associated with them, and you may have already noticed they're tied to you to explore that and see what elements come to you and may relate to your own life and with this initiation. So we have the Queen of Swords coming through, and so the Queen of Swords, especially in this tale, is very much someone who is, I need to lock away my heart in order to make decisions that benefit the all. And your initiation is coming through this week, and I'm seeing that maybe there's a couple of things, because this is the first time I've ever really noticed that she does in fact have heads on spikes behind her. And yeah, so with that, I'm seeing that you are tired of this shit. You have been, I'm seeing that you probably, like most of your life, have been considered like emotional, sensitive, and you are tired of that label. And so within the recent, like, I would say past few months, you have been just taking names, and like anyone who has said something against you, you've just been like a quick word back. Like you have not really let anything come, you've not let anything past you, is kind of how it's going. So, which is a big reason why you're getting the Queen too, is because you've been taking a lot of negativity within yourself, and and throwing that energy back out. Oh, excuse me. And throwing that energy back out of you. So with that being said, we are really seeing within your initiation that you've developed an edge, and this is all part of it. I mean, the Empress is all of the queens, so Queen of Swords, yes, she's been coming out a lot recently. So Divine Feminine, not feeling so good, wanting to see the logical side a little bit more in things, understand the world. Okay, and so we do have another tarot for you. Two of Coins. Yes, this makes a lot of sense. So we really are seeing that you are struggling in finding balance between the spiritual and material world, which is why you've become this Queen of Swords. And so this initiation is calling upon you to find a certain balance, to find a certain compromise in your happiness. So I definitely would encourage you to look up this story, because there is a certain acceptance in both of these stories, and it's interesting because both of them is an acceptance of your way of life. And one of them seems a little bit more gentler, even though there's harsher realities within it. And then the other one seems a little bit more brutal because of the harsh reality. And so this is Spirit really coming forward saying that this is initiation is your chance to decide how you're going to deal with the external world. Okay. So with that, what is your invitation? Divine invitation. Face your shadow. Okay. So like I said, I feel like you've been like taking on like negative labels where you're like, people are like, oh, you're just shy, you're just sensitive. And you're like, no, I have a voice. I know who I am. This is Spirit saying like, well, why do those things make you so angry? Like, where is your energy going in this negative place? It literally shine some light on that situation and find, I'm not seeing like find the source of the shadow. I'm seeing like accept the shadow. Yeah, because these are like darker elements, right? These are harsher realities. The world is difficult. And a lot of times when you're like happy, you want to be more toxic positivity can come into it. And so maybe that is your shadow, is like you are in denial a lot of the time. Maybe you prefer to be positive. Maybe your shadow is like now you've been losing hope, and like, why have you been losing hope? And this is Spirit just really coming in and saying wherever that hurt is. So yes, okay, the way that you deal with the external world, wherever you're like, I don't like that part of the external world, look at yourself, because it's triggering a shadow within you. And so that is the shadow that Spirit is saying, this, why does this bother you in the world? Because it's something within you that is bothered by it. Okay, so definitely look into that. Something that just came through, especially for women, is sexuality. So a lot of times like women get upset and frustrated with seeing other women express their sexuality, and most of the time that's because they themselves have been repressed. So that's just an example of what Spirit is saying when it means look at the world and how it reflects back at you in order to see your shadow. And that's what this initiation is about. Okay, so we have some true love cards. So first we have the Divine Masculine coming in. Very interesting. Okay, because the reason why I say that is because I was getting from this group primarily female energy. So that being said, it's interesting. So because there's a distorted masculine card. So this is not saying like, oh, you're too focused on the Divine Masculine, you need to focus on yourself again. If anything, I am seeing that you probably have been taking on the Divine Masculine a lot in your day-to-day life, and this is Spirit coming through saying that this is a natural part that is happening, and it is something that has been ignored in you for so long. So yeah, I'm definitely hearing, I mean, we do have a mother here, so I'm hearing you yourself, and I apologize if this is not true, relate more with how the that you've always related more with like the female story of things, and that part of your initiation here is understanding how the masculine comes into that. So it is understanding more of the external world. A lot of times with the female, we only pay attention to our internal and what's happening, and a lot of your initiation is saying take a look at the external. And so that's why we're seeing this Divine Masculine come up, because this is the energy that one, you are stepping into and balancing. And two, this is also a confirmation from spirit that you are on the right path. So as you are kind of like getting more into this structure and disciplined mindset, and maybe I'm hearing you feel less forgiving. Not necessarily that you are, just that you feel less forgiving, but like it's like that edge, that roughness to you that's happening is all part of the plan in order to help bring your divine masculine up. And if you yourself are someone who is like, no, I'm a divine feminine, that's great. Like you still have both energies. And in order, and I said this in another pile recently, the other thing is you need to recognize your own divine masculine within yourself before you can see your partner in real life. So if you've been feeling alone and trying to like understand your spiritual between material world, your divine masculine side is what's going to help you do that. With that, we do have another one for you. Okay, so we have the garden. So the garden. So a lot of these in this deck, there are multiple cards that are balanced out by having a feminine and masculine energy to it. And so it's interesting that you didn't get the pair, but you did get two different great energies. You got the garden, which is the feminine. So this coming out right now tells me the garden internal, right? That's the internal. You have to go into the garden. And the fact that the divine masculine is coming out as a person is telling me that you are spending time in your garden as the divine masculine. So in that you essentially, you are still protecting yourself. Your femininity did not go away. This is a very key point. It did not go away. It is still there, and it is always going to be there. You are simply learning the structure of the fence around it and making sure that like the irrigation for the water is right, and that like things will not go well. You are learning how to protect your garden. Yes. Okay, with that, we do have a Pegasus card with a poem at the end. But let's go ahead and see what else your spirit guides are saying. So we have Fierce Pegasus of Fire. So this relates to the elemental fire in every capacity. So we have wands, we have creativity, we have passion. Fire is typically with a masculine energy as well. And so we are seeing this fiery horse come through saying like, yes, this energy that you are feeling, it is okay. You are meant to be doing it. You are meant to be this driving force behind you are the fire bringing light to your shadow, right? And you are a fire in this world who will support and guide others. And so like I'm with the Pegasus, the biggest thing that's coming through is you do not need to douse yourself and let go of your fierceness in order to be the garden. Like a garden can still have a garden. You are not setting your garden aflame. You simply are a flame, and therefore, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to, because I think the bigger issue here is or an issue that comes up is the fear that you've lost the femininity, that like you are only fire now. And Spirit is saying, no, this is just one element of you that you need to learn. And in order to burst through this, I'm also seeing that the Fierce Pegasus of Fire is actually going to help you understand being the Queen of Swords more and how to integrate your loving heart into that rough edge, because a fire is light, even though it burns. Like a lot of times fire is associated with hope, right? So just keep that in mind, and that you yourself are filled with hope. I see this is a rough path moving forward for you, but I also see that you are doing it. Like you were meant to be going on this path. You have, it is not like you have turned your back on anything. If anything, you have started standing up for yourself, and that is what's coming through the most for Spirit. So you are on a journey. You are still learning. I'm still seeing that sensitive soul behind this fiery edge, behind that steel. And that is okay. That is how you're meant to be. So with that, let's go ahead and get your poem. All right. Beloved Pegasus, I call upon enlightened wisdom to manifest the blessings of the fire element so that I may know fearlessness, unconditional trust in the divine, inspiration, intuition, and the fruition of my heart's deepest desires for the spiritual benefit of all beings. Okay. With that being said, that is exactly like so this Pegasus is outside of you, right? But you are literally, I feel like, becoming this fiery energy in order to burst forward, in order to break apart other people's perceptions of you. They can't help but turn and face you as you shine this bright light. All right, pile 3. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for you. Thank you for being here, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey and your initiation. Don't forget to like and comment below. Comment below if anything stood out to you, and I will see you in the next one. Blessed be.